Well, it was about time I get to this film, since this film has been pretty popular and been considered one of the best films of the 80s. Well, we'll see about that. Hey guys, Monster here, and yep, it was about time I reviewed Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the film that was released under Touchstone Pictures, and has actually been pretty popular with a bunch of people. Now, when it comes to reviews based off cartoons in the life in the real world, most of them have gotten a more negative response from critics. Either for them having way too much focus on the human characters, not much giving much attention to the main character, and of course, either the characters being hideous in CGI in the real world. Yeah, that's mostly the complaints that a lot of people have when it comes to cartoons coming to the real world. In fact, movies like Yogi Bear, The Smurfs, and Alvin and the Chipmunks have gotten this much criticism. So, and while films like and while films like Tom and Jerry got were a little more well received, still got the same criticism as the other films. And I honestly do have to agree with some of these criticism because again, these movies do not know which if honestly, if you're not gonna make your main character the star of the movie, then don't make them don't make a movie based off of them if you're not gonna like have him be the focus, if you're gonna favor the celebrities. Well, but then a lot of people have been comparing Roger Rabbit to those films and saying that Who Framed Roger Rabbit was probably the best example of cartoons coming to real world. Well, do I agree with what the critics say? Well, let's start. Well, let's review. So, the plot of this film is that in 1947, the film follows Eddie Valer, a private investigator who must help Roger Rabbit, who has been framed for the murder of AMC's corporation owner. This time, the world is, however, the world has cartoons living in it, from either from Warner Brothers, Disney, MGM, whatever. So yeah, this film has been widely considered to be one of the best films that has a cartoon in the real world, and that a lot of people really love this movie. For me, yeah, I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much gonna be shocked at a lot of people saying that I don't really. I really don't see why this film was loved by critics. Don't see why. But don't get me wrong, Who Framed Roger Rabbit isn't bad, but on my first watch, but after I recently just watched it, I noticed some problems. And yes, while there were more positives, the problems really start to affect my viewing on the film. Well, let's get to probably the positives here. For starters, yes. A concept of. For starters, I actually kind of find it really amazing that they've managed to get every cartoon character from different companies into one movie, because that isn't easy, because since there's different types of cartoons owned by different type of franchise, like Mickey Mouse is owned by Disney, Bugs Bunny is owned by Warner Brothers. It's kind of hard to like grab random cartoons from different companies and just mash them together into a movie. However, I feel like, that it was actually done. However, I was surprised that the people at Touchstone and Emblem Entertainment actually managed and the people behind the movie managed to get the rights to some of these characters so they can have them in one movie. And speaking of which, let's talk about the cartoons. I will say that the cartoons was one of this film's biggest positive. As we get to see, and as we get to point out a lot of the cameos they make, especially But especially, of course, the scene with Bugs Bunny and Mickey. I mean, who can forget that scene? Seeing a Disney and a Warner Bros. Character meeting each other, that's that's probably the most watchable moment of the movie. Alongside the whole Donald and Daffy playing pianos and that ended where every tune comes and sings like some smile song, I don't know. The animation, well, I honestly have more of a mixed to positive feeling about it. Well, the animation, well, for on the one hand, the animation does a good job. The animators really did a good job resembling the characters in their resemble the characters and the movements from their original spot. How, on the other hand, they try to throw in CG in the mix, which is fine, but it honestly feels a bit. However, the CG shading in some of the characters and the cartoon characters look off, and kind of distracted nonetheless. Because they don't want to make them in CGI, not just yet, but but I don't know. The CGI for the anime for the well done animation just seemed off here. Seemed off here. And now let's talk about the characters. Where we're now getting to some of this film's slight issues. Let's start with Eddie Violet. I would say that he had some. His performance was alright here. However, there are moments where his acting is just phoned up, and there's times where he can overreact at moments where that isn't much of a big deal. I mean, and he also really isn't very much an interesting main interesting character since I mostly came here just to see the cartoons. Then there's Roger Rabbit, which, oh boy, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna attack me, but I just did not like Roger Rabbit. I mean, I don't hate him, but I just find him annoying and too like zany like. I get that's his character, but it's a bit too much for me. Although he does get a little better, and I kind of do feel like a little sympathy for him because he was honestly framed for for the murder, but again, I try to sympathize with him, but he's just too annoying that I just can't even bring myself to that level. Roger's wife was probably one of the only characters that I honestly kind of liked this movie. Yes, yeah, she did play patty cake with some other person, but her intentions were never meant to cheat on Roger. This kind of makes her likable as she still cares for Roger. But as for the other characters, they don't really serve much here. And that's a problem. While the cartoon characters are good and I like seeing them to cross over one together, again, what does this all have to do with the whole Roger being a frame thing? But and I honestly feel like it was just mostly an excuse to just throw cartoon characters in there because hey guys, look at this. We're crossing over each other. We're crossing these cartoons together. Heather, let's just grab a character from Disney. Let's grab a character from MGM and cross them over together. Yeah, I honestly feel like these cartoon characters were just here just because, oh hey, it's Toon World and it's cartoons within the world. I mean, they serve a purpose of being here since this is Toon World, I guess that, but again, I just feel like the cartoon characters here were a bit pointless. Also, considering also let's all talk about the plot. However, the plot of the movie about the whole murder mystery, that's another issue. Is that I don't know if this movie is made for kids. I'm assuming it is. However, there's a lot of elements that aren't really kid friendly, especially and the fact that it's have Disney and Warner Bros. Cartoon characters here. There's a lot of adult edgy humor. Or, like, for example, you got Roger's wife, Jessica, I think that's her name. Playing Patty Hake. However, when Eddie's looking at the man and Jessica, it honestly feels like they're however the dialogue they're saying it honestly makes me think they're doing you know what. But also there's some swearing, like a few uses of the H word and the B words and a PG rated film. Yeah. Yeah. And also the fact that these characters drink a lot. Which I'm pretty sure parents are not gonna like. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but for a PG rated film, that's a bit too much. There is, and I mean, the ending scene was kind of nice as the character, as Eddie saves Roger or Jessica. Yes, of course, it's that whole characters get, of course, it's that whole characters start off rough, but then they get better trope that, of course, I love, but I mean, it's not the worst example of it, but I honestly don't know. But like I said, the action scene was amazing. Yeah, that action the and then the final battle there was really enjoyable. Probably the most enjoyable scene out of the entire film, and that's when all the characters get to come out and see. So overall, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is on one hand enjoyable, but on the other hand, kind of annoying. Which is a damn shame because I honestly wanted to like this movie since it was praised by many critics, but I honestly just couldn't find myself to like it, and I kind of think it's kind of a bit overrated. Again, I don't hate it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. And if this is the example of the best example of cartoons heading to the real world, then I honestly kind of had to agree and disagree at the same time. So I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. Now, I give it a 6 because, I mean, again, there were some positives, but like I said, it was just not my cup of tea. I still enjoy I mean, it is all I can say is that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is an annoying film, but kind of enjoyable. But it's kind of enjoyable. So guys, that's it for my review on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be sure to post more movie reviews. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.